kills out of the vent as well. Lucky he got the rifle up first and Jane couldn't respond. His set up like a turret, time depleting at this point. The 20-second mark coming through. It looks like Tyler might have done enough at this stage, but the flashbang isn't a huge deal as he holds towards quad. Detected now, but Summer delivers an absolutely stunning headshot there. It's Crizzen, who can still get a plant by the looks of things. He'll get the bomb down. Needs to be careful here.
Yeah, he does, because he's allowed them closer. If one was peeking, great, he gets away with it, but all he's really done is, fair enough, got the bomb down, but secured the fact that he wouldn't have any chance in the post plant as they were all over him. So another round for Ty Lue, and again, I say that was a desperately needed win. Double up investment facing a full reset.
Yeah, well, the bomb goes down, so like we said, one more buy there for Avangar. But yeah, trying to juke them out there with the fake plan, hoping for a beta CT round, considering the time was so low. Be right ultimately just led to his demise. But this was a great play. Bentet, the fatty, is so calm under pressure. The Molotov gets him out of position, hits the first kill, then luckily gets the AWP on the second. He manages to funnel the back towards A, where they are more than ready with the AWP in position. Goes 6-2 now. Still not comfortable. The CT side need to break them down to an eco first before they can start feeling confident. You can see an attacker and somebody there, $300. Even less so now as they buy their utility. It's a tactical timeout from Avangar, I believe, at this point, just because they have to distribute the wealth. They had Buster, who are around 10k, a couple of players a lot less than that. So dropping AKs, there is an AWP on the ground as well. Got everything they need.
Seen that AWP from Jame work over toward B. Last round to get the opener, but they were shut down by Bintet. We haven't seen it much other than that on the T side. They're going to go for the exact same boost you pointed out again. You called it the Guardian boost, rightfully so. It's quite clever. Hard to hit the boosted or run boosted target, and then he lands off of where the traditional mark would be for crosshair placement. Smoke down. It's going to cover all the way across. Excret so close up to the vent as well. Okay, there is a bit of a gap, and I was going to say, I thought maybe they might be trying to get Bintet back inside of the vents to support somebody, but he still has... Yeah, there's no one on white box. That's a one and done, and it doesn't even get that far. There's no one else to support mid, and now they're going to rotate a player out of A. Summer has to rotate Z connector. Smoke off in front of him already. If they attack the A site, they can isolate. Doesn't look like they're going to, but they could have had a chance to isolate onto attacker. Good favor from Excret. Finally gets one of the AWP on the CT side.
Fitch just walking out middle with no flashes. Nothing really down there. They're willing to take the 1v1 duel. Excret, though, he does bring it back to the 4-on-4. They needed that. He had to go a little bit more aggressive. Easy shot for him in the end. Another B splits. They have a couple of smokes. Molotov this side if they want to deploy that, but another fantastic shot there delivered to the AWP. It's now going to be Bentet. Nice incendiary to buy them some time. Does he want to try and push this smoke? That's the question. Sprays now. That suggests he definitely won't have to go for a reload and wait for his teammates to rotate in. Meanwhile, the bomb's going to be planted. Advantage towards Avangar, and at this point, desperate wallbangs to be attempted. If anything lands, then maybe they'll go for it, but right now, 2 flashes and an HE, you might just consider saving. And I think they definitely are.
Yeah. Second you said it was already turned him walking back down heaven. Typically, that's the first sign. So 7-2, and the save is the right call. Again, we talked about it 2 rounds ago. They won their first, so they would only be 2 rounds into winning ways and coming off of very little money. They need to hold on to these. They'll be able to force buyout as well, because there's enough for Excret to... Not full. He's going to have... Oh, well, I just saw it, so I can tell you without doing the math. He's going to have 40-50. I was going to say about $4,000.
Yeah.
So he'll be able to purchase a little bit. They'll throw one gun over to him. It was his teammate that went down that had... Jame, I think, that had... Or excuse me, somebody that had way less than that. So we'll see what they come up with for him as well, because they'll have to throw out 2 guns. They'll be a little light.
That play there, you can see there's no smokes down, no flashes deployed. He's literally just walked out at the mid-entrance and taken such a gamble there. But you got to respect it when players are so confident in their ability. That's what I talk about star players. If they're a good start, they have like some pistol kills, some anti-eco frags, they start swelling in confidence and they're willing to make plays like that and hit their shots, and that's how you get the very best out of them. This is an aggressive play with the flashbangs towards A main. Quite a pitiful one, I have to say. The flashbang wasn't deep enough. Actually got naded at the start, really should have bailed out at that point. But now it's Avangar just running over Ty Lue. They might as well commit to this at this point. They know somebody's isolated there. There's not really much of a chance of him getting multiple frags. Drops a decent flashbang. He's going to have to find the heads, though, as more and more utility is getting thrown in his direction.
Back, but almost got out by that. Luckily, it's not an op when you do that. You still have a crosshair with this gun, so it's not like he had the timing completely off, gets away with it. Fitch and Buster are going to go over toward Toxic. They've got no one in B. It's wide open.
It's wide open. And we know the way Fitch has been playing. Look, again, just by himself, no trade potential. It shouldn't be the right play, but he's called it perfectly. Like, he had no one with him, and just makes his way in with the bomb as well. If that goes wrong, that could be the round, but he's feeling it, and it's perfectly done. He's going to have the plant now. They're going to have to save again. They've got nothing to retake this, so Avangard shutting down the A approach, and that's why Tyloo wants to try and get a kill at the very start of the round. They know they haven't got absolutely everything they need to win this round. They go for the aggressive push towards A main. Ideally, maybe two people do that so you can get a trade if it goes wrong. The Orb's very good in that position, but the flashbang wasn't quite deep enough, and the T's looked very comfortable and aware of the possibility. So 4 players survive for Avangard. They're going to win this half on the T side very early on. But once again, Tyloo saving 3 weapons. It's not the end of the world here. Money not going to be great, of course, but Crizin might be able to take a couple of players down with him. And players behind the forklift, he won't be able to spot him straight away. Just going to be sneaking around here. If he checks forklift, he's got a kill available to him. There it is, but surely the CT doesn't repeat this, doesn't need the kill.
Indeed. Crizin can't afford to just sprint directly toward him either. That's too easy. So 8-2 now, still T-side of Cash. Probably the only fully T-sided map still.
Yeah, the only one. And it's down to like the smallest of the percents as well.
The reason I hesitate is because Dust 2, but we don't see it enough to really have a proper sample size.
Well, it's not been played once in this entire tournament, so yes, you're absolutely correct. It's still a map that's developing, so I think the problem is, like, if we really talked about
that, right?
If we really broke it down, it's because it's a map that can be quote-unquote random because of storms, and you could get great opportunities there. We'll get into that later. Somehow a B push has yielded a frag towards Buster. They just rush in towards B storage there and take one down. They did indeed. Xkira goes down to 5 HP, but that's worth it. They have to make those sort of plays in these particular rounds. They haven't invested much, but they have got enough to win. So they deflate 3 players towards B at the start, and here comes Pickup. And they're making a lot of these strange solo maneuvers, Avangard. It is working for them, but there is a trade there.
It has worked for them. It doesn't necessarily... Well, Crisin's going to pull it off again in a one-on-one inside of the A site.
No backup at all.
Absolutely. I'm wondering if that's overconfidence, or maybe just getting very lucky with that. If they start to rely on the fact that Tyloo's been winning the duels and suddenly their aim comes back to fruition, then they might have problems and have to adjust. But for now, it's fine. 8-2, 3-on-3, back over toward the A site. Fitch is going to wait and hold out in middle. Easy kill on Xkira. He had very little HP to work with. Let's see how Summer works about things. Bomb not yet planted. Smoke down is going to make Summer easily able to cross over inside of the site. Doesn't actually want to push toward quad. And if he had, Crisin's there on very low HP. This could be more clever, though, because the fact that they've been anchoring inside of the site for so long and not identified that Summer snuck into the corner, he might be gifted a few kills, and he's got Bintet to trade off of as well. He can swing it out and try and go for the aggro. Exactly that. Bomb goes down, 24 seconds. Bintet might be the right man in the right place, but it's a one-on-one. Crizin missing, 18 seconds. Bintet now, I think, wins this all day long because he's got the HP to win the duel so long as he knows where he's coming from. There's only one way he can.
He's absolutely owned this. Yeah, 100% win for Bintet. No way Crizin can do this. I'm putting myself out there.
Pending a whiff.
It would have to be a monumental whiff for 10 HP.
I'm just trying to back you up just in case, Hank.
Well, there we go.
Looking out for you, man.
Oh, I appreciate it. Sometimes that has gone wrong for me. But there you go. That's a really nice methodical play there, thought out. They realize the only way we can win this, so we know they've got the A site here. We're going to sneak in and let's hope they commit towards A. They put 2 at the forklift there, and Avangard just weren't expecting it. And Bintet, once he manages to get the bomb, sneaks in towards A main, can still have vision of the C4 and shut it down. This was the initial push, and they have to make these sort of plays when you've got 3 rifles and pistols. You need an early advantage, and that it works absolutely perfectly. So there we go. Haven't broken the money still. Avangard have not taken a single eco or partial buy just yet. They've had full guns every single time. Same boost coming through. Shame. He doesn't really pop off. He doesn't hit that player, but he does at least spot him. Good Molotov as well to flush him out.
Smoke down to take away that vision. He's going to use the gap as well. It's quite aggressive on the op in this position at Checker because he constantly goes up to underneath the vents, playing a much tighter angle, forcing Avangard to commit much further before he would even have vision. Whereas a lot stay more open, can see deeper into the tunnels, and as a result have more cover to fall back to, if you will. Safety and retreat, whereas Excret in this position doesn't when he's that close up.
Oh, this is such a difficult spot for him to play, but it looks like he's maneuvered it perfectly. Still a 4-on-4, but not for long. Excret has to go huge here. Remember, the AWP, far off that one shot, takes a few seconds to reset, but still, Summer's still alive towards middle. And Avantgarde, this is where they seem to struggle. And the time's ticking away, and it's an equal situation. They haven't got that advantage. It seems like Tyloo can get a decent read on them and be prepared for whatever they bring to the party. They still have 3 smokes and a Molotov as well. They'll end up towards A. And what kind of setup have we got there? Just the one player on the side. So we've got Summer there with the easy backup, and he actually dings pitch as well. Well, actually takes another 15. He was already quite low. This is perfect. This is going to slow them down tremendously and do some damage towards James as well. They're going back towards B, but it seems very telegraphed at this point. Excret with the AWP. Almost certainly going to land one here, unless these flashbangs are perfect, and the smokes are. He hits Crizzen, unlucky not to get a kill there. That incendiary might be enough. They're low. They're going to scramble to get the bomb down here. Nice movement from Crizzen, but not good enough. That's the round. No time to plant. Very good stuff. And Tyloo, when it is an equal situation, they seem to have a very firm understanding of what Avantgarde are going to try and do. Their utility usage, making things very uncomfortable. They're dropping the incendiaries in the right spots. They have to access the bomb site through this area, and they're ready for it. That was excellent.
We'll see now if Avantgarde starts to adjust as well, because the shots are being hit by Tyloo. Not a lot of money to buy around the 2 guns saved. And with the lead, they might even consider just waiting that out. But it's interesting to think if they continue to peak one-on-one with no support, no backup, and Tyloo, again, starts to find their aim, this could fall apart quite quickly. At 8-4, they're already back into this. So they have not bought a single weapon to, I guess, be baited into that 4-spy situation where you think, oh, we've got an AWP, we've got an AK, let's just go in on it.
Well, they've already really got enough rounds on the T side, you know, so we'll see if this will at least get them some sort of access to get a bomb plant down. It's all down to James, really, so they'll take a very slow round here as the CT does whiz past. James didn't spot him, actually takes not too much damage there, just 11. Somebody has been playing a pretty decent mid-game for a Soto player. He has been a bit of a nuisance. And Tyloo will have 3 players actually on the A site this time. No one towards Highway. Certainly got an AWP watching that position as Avantgarde take their control. They got to retake A main. Somebody flashed in. Such a difficult position to maneuver in if it's only you there. But the incendiary will buy them time and hopefully funnel Avantgarde towards B once again, which is the bombs that they've been favouring out of the 2.
Crizzen already working back in toward A main. 2 in mid, James on the AWP. If he goes through the vents, it's a straight duel with the other AWP, and they are going to go for a boost inside of A as well for the CT side. Haven't seen that yet. Problem is, they need to be well aware of the fact Highway is open, and I think they are. The flash around, Summer will check it, because that's it's exactly this. Somebody, he now gets great response to get 2. Yeah. The fact that he does in that position, you're so vulnerable and wide open to Highway when you lose that position and boost it in the corner, especially when they know you're there. Kicker, good shot to at least get 1 back on the Deagle. Bomb goes down. This is still a reasonable round for Avantgarde. He survives that 8 as well, just barely. Goes on 19 HP and wants to swing in around behind the red crate. Spots 1, but too late. Binted already spotted him up and put him down.
Well, they get the bomb down. They get 3 kills. Remember, they came into that round with just pistols, the saved AWP and the AK, and made things very chaotic indeed. Bit of a death match there on the A side. The boosted player managing to get 2 kills, convincing ones as well. Great reactions, and always impressive to watch Tyloo in those sort of scenarios. Always seems so calm when he gets in the most frantic possible encounters. Avantgarde don't seem to have any qualms about pushing through smokes or flashbangs even by themselves, as we'll see them now actually be back in a more favourable position. I don't think James has the AWP this time. He'll be back to the AK. Very quiet game by his standards. We were very impressed by his performances in London last week. Can't really get going on cash. He's in 7 and 5 and only had, I think, 1 AWP so far.
Shots down from mid. White box from somebody. Summer's there as well. He's going to rotate off it. They found the 1 kill they need to subside in mid, but watch Fitch again. Wants to peek it. Somebody had him that time.
It's a questionable decision. I understand he's feeling confident in his shots, but you're literally walking around. No flash, no teamwork there. He's just hoping he can nail a headshot.
And I can understand the confidence. He's at 14. Next closest teammate is now Kicker tied with Crizzen on 8. No one on the other side is near that. He's pretty much the difference between the 2 teams at this point in time. But again, it's that luck's going to run out. If you're going to be constantly 1v peaking or going into choke point positions with no support, you're eventually going to get sorted.
Like, ideally, you'll see the top team smoke highway. You know, they'll smoke the top of highway before they make that peak. Just so if there's anyone in a white box, you can actually focus on him, get towards Ticket Booth, then split A. But they're not even dropping that. They're literally just having Fitch walk around the corner. And
it's almost like an early lurk. Like, instead of us like getting distractions, why don't you lurk first?
Yeah.
And then we'll play off that.
And if you're sending the shots, great. But then when you start to struggle and it drops off and they're aware of what you're doing, it looks sometimes a little bit bent. Normally so good in those sort of positions, but he's done damage there. And you can see those low HP players having to run through the flames. The AWP, though, doesn't matter if they're low, he has to hit some quick scopes here. There's one. He'll burn. And they still have the advantage. Somebody pushing the smoke, as we'll see Buster left in the 2 versus 1.
He burned Kickert alive as well, though, so he actually got 2 on that. I thought he was getting a little desperate with his op shots, but seemingly he had the timing right in the 3rd one. Buster's... He is going to fake and try and bait. They're both in. It means he's pretty much committed to fighting at this point. He's lost track of where the shots came from. Good decision by somebody to jump up on the box as well in that position. And it's a win. Tyloo starting to close that gap. 8-5.
Yeah, you can see their individual skill coming out now and exploiting some of the mistakes and audacious picks from Avangar. Like I said, just a bit of basic utility usage on those tight choke points. I don't mind Fitch having the confidence to face sort of angles, but you've got quad to worry about. Yellow boxes, heaven, ticket booth, white box. It's just such a difficult shot. You can see this position for somebody, that's such a free frag for him. He's not challenged at all there. As Excurab, I said he had to get a quick scope, and you're right, I didn't even catch that Molotov kill he got, but that was a lovely play just to finish things off. Buster overwhelmed as they scramble on top of the bomb side there, and we go into round number 15. Avangar certainly dropped off. They were doing so well. They were 6-0 up on the T side. It's still a good half, but if it goes 8-7, it will be disappointed, as Tyloo certainly looking a lot more efficient now, especially in the late game of the round. So what do we got for Avangar here? Not ideal. A couple of Deagles, a couple of AKs, 1 Galil, and bare bones utility as they look to send 3 players towards that B area. Are they going to go for the boost again? It hasn't really found them a frag. They're just going to straight up challenge him. Bented this time going to be baited by Excurab. He's ready for that same old Molotov that comes through. Gives himself a little one-way as well, dodging flashes. That's a really nice play from him. Bented doesn't even have the face right now. They're so focused on the sniper, and you can see how that works out so efficiently. Bented, even though that smoke didn't look ideal, he actually has an exit strategy now. His teammate's going to flash him out. You can see their teamwork looks fantastic.
Krizen's waiting for the retreat, though. He knew they had to cross back into the site. Good timing of the flash means he had to look away. They get in there safely, except for one. The AWP Excuric finds Krizen. Yeah, we're seeing this fall apart now. Avangar tactics weren't the strong. It was just a flying start.
It was absolutely just a flying start. I was saying this is such a basic approach to the game. It's not that technical. Maybe they're waiting until that momentum drops off before we see more of the coordination.
If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Fall back on it, adapt, call a timeout maybe. They won't. One-on-one every time. Excuric's showing up now in spades. He's got 14 kills. He's matched Fitch. 3 rounds ago when I talked about the score, he wasn't anywhere near that. He was still on 8, so that's a huge finish for him on the AWP.
Really exciting half, and this one's just warming up, ladies and gentlemen. We'll take a break and be back with the action after this.
second half, and it's really has changed a lot. We started with Avangard just running around having their way with things, quite literally one-on-one in every situation. Fitch, you touched on it a number of times, was walking out. Very uncharacteristic to Counter-Strike at this level and just finding kills. That stopped, that dried up. Double op was a big part of it, I will say, for Tai Lu, but they pulled back from what was 6-0 and then 8-2 to 8-7.
Yeah, absolutely. And they've actually got a bit of an advantage, I'd say, going into the second half. The wins are in their sail, and we'll see if they can continue this momentum as we get into the pistol here. Look at their buy. They've got one smoke, one Molotov. The rest of the players with Glocks and Kevlar there. The bombs on Benter. And all 5 players not going for the rush here, but a contact towards B. It's Buster to defend. He has got James, who's at the connector right now. They go in at this point. He's going to have a lot on his plate to deal with here. Buster needs to try and stay alive as long as possible. Take the bullet to the face and surely goes down early. Great play from Tai Lu. Nice attack there with the Molotov on the site. It means he has to be exposed and he limited in his options. That's where he can be positioned. And we'll see now. Kickert holding for his teammates. The smoke's still down. They have no kits, no flashbangs. Just have to try and find all 5 headshots very, very quickly.
Somebody a few tags. Fitch was the one he found but didn't get the kill on. It's Kikard instead back in, but who else than Execure to show up 2 with that fast? I think he must have been shooting at 1 target. They were pretty much lined up for the Glock to find 2 headshots that quickly, and Bintech shows what happens when a USP gets in a terrorist's hands. 8 for Tai Lu. It's tied. You said it, wind in their sails.
Yeah, absolutely. This is great now. We're all tied up, and it's a nice approach there. Nothing too complicated. 5 players towards B. You wait for the initial push. It is quite a common strategy on the CT side to send maybe 2 or 3 players to B storage and a pistol round to get some information. But they waited for that. No aggression. Molotov on the site. Smoke and CT spawn. 5 players coming in. They didn't drop a player on the initial exchange there. That was the key as they get the bomb down. And Avangard actually did a very good job of finding multiple kills, but ultimately couldn't win the round. They'll take a full eco here. So it looks like Tyler will take the lead for the very first time as they make their approach towards middle. It is a very standard play. It's an area, and you know they've just got USPs. They're not going to be able to do much. Even though all 5 players are there, you're going to take them down as they focus on rifles here. 3 of those, albeit kills. 1 AK for Exurip and those Mac 10s as well. So they'll hold towards middle, see if they can get a bit of intel here. They've got a very valuable part of the map under control. Bomb just holding back, and they'll just go to somewhere together. You always want to go to a 5-man unit, no fakes required. Just make sure you don't risk giving up any sort of weaponry here. Shut the window, allow to smoke spawn from the sunroom if they so desire. They only have 1 smoke remaining, but I don't see this being a massive issue. There's the smoke. Molotov on site as well. And maybe a kill here to kick things off the USP, but surely they recover this. Tai Lu, 1 player to find. Jane might be able to get 1 kill here, but Attacker cognizant to the fact there could be a stack on this bomb site, and it looks like the bomb will be planted at this stage. Round over, 1 kill found, and at this point, any sort of kill would be acceptable for Avangard.
Yeah, absolutely. Some are down, but somebody's going to get Fitch. Still nothing further at this point in time. Nothing to lose for Kikard. He might as well try. Playing the box as a headshot position means that he therefore gets the benefit of the box as armor, if you will, and Attacker doesn't really mind running closer with the Mac 10, even jumping to get the shot. So Tai Lu take the lead. The first lead they've had all game. As round 17 finishes. 2 timeouts remaining on either side. It's Tai Lu that used them very early on, both in the first 6 rounds. Avangard, we talked about this in London, and we touched on it again on day 1. They are going to use all 4. They always do. Thankfully, they didn't use them too soon, because now it looks like they're going to need them.
Well, they're a very young team. They have some great individuals, but their approach certainly needs some work. So the coach needs to get stuck in as much as possible. Tai Lu, for me, it looks like they've done enough now. They're so comfortable as this game is developing. They're going towards A, and this is a very similar approach we discussed in the first half. This gun round is always difficult for the CTs. They have bare bones use and try and go through potentially here. Bomb goes down, and now they've got a retake again with no kits.
Fitch wants to swing it. Oh, he does have an inkling. I didn't think he had any idea whatsoever that somebody was going to be so close. Still couldn't find the kill. Buster's got him back, but that's based on the information, sure. Sufficient trade. Still haven't cleared out the crossfire potential that exists to protect this bomb, and they won't be able to trade on Buster immediately, which means it started to favor Tai Lu. It's all on Excurate. It's fallen on his shoulders. He's got a hold for 1. He's got that already, and you're right. Time is now on his side. 28 HP only. Doesn't need to force the peak, though. Just wait for the player to enter. James not going to do that. He wants to save the AWP.
And that's why you make those 5-man set piece plays on this particular round. They didn't have a defuse kit there. The bomb gets planted. You get some trades. They actually had the man disadvantage there. They wasted so much time there, dropping the smokes. The Molotov was making sure they were in sneaky positions there, so no multi-kills could be found. And even in the 2 versus 1, it looked like there was a chance, but no kit, 10-second defuse. All James could do is hold on to the AWP, and that's what he did. So they'll have a fighting chance in the next round. We'll see how much they decide to buy. As the loss bonus starts to rack up here, I'd assume they'll go Deagle, Armor, and the AWP. And there's some 5-7s there as well, pretty much exactly that. And the AWP goes towards B. Now this could be interesting, but the smoke and the usual procedure to get his side of the map has been deployed, but James pushes in front of it. He knows he needs to find a frag here, Matt, and he probably gets the one, not even that, gives up the AWP. This time you can slow it right down. Oh my goodness.
Wow. Okay, don't slow it down at all, just runs directly in.
You just want to try and get that AWP or AK out of the map, reposition, and know they've got nothing left. Now you've given that AK away and made things very awkward for yourselves. That was not a call required there, pushing through the smoke alone. Uncharacteristic, Tyler, who haven't made those sort of mistakes so far.
Buster could rotate off this as well. If you wanted to think of that one gun as being dynamic as an op normally would, you find one pick, try and change it up and switch it around. Problem is that it's so early in the round that it is just an AK-47 that's been garnered. There's no guarantee they'll shift over toward A, but they certainly have. I wouldn't have minded seeing Buster just book it back over to A at that point.
Let's see what he can do. Fitch has been impressive in the individual skill department. Smoke might be a little bit too late. They're going to push through that, imagine, as the Molotov comes through, and indeed they will. Not going to let him get comfortable there. And it looks like they've recovered the situation. Could have got a bit dicey for them at Tyloo. They get this bomb planted. Managed to stay calm. Just one moment of panic when they pushed through the smoke. That was about it. There is an AWP available in B storage, and they've got it as well. So I feel like the play I wanted to see, you get that opening kill, you take down James AWP, everyone just holds. You do the 30-second rule, and everyone just waits for smokes to clear, see what the reaction is. You throw a weapon out the map, recover the AWP, and make sure that can't be recovered. That should have been the main protocol there. A mistake was made, and then you just got to focus on winning the round. So they roll like Risen and Buster, save the AK and all, which was brought in, and actually leads with an extra rifle.
Yeah. And an AK at that on the CT side. I mean, this is as good as it was going to get this round for them ultimately. And another round for Tyloo nonetheless. We'll see if that costs them. I mean, watch those two guns. If they pick up kills in the next round, that wouldn't have been otherwise. So it could be significant down the line. It's still very much a close game, despite that Avangar has not picked up a round in this half. We're just getting started.
Oh, we absolutely are. Crack starting the show. This was the play that made things a little bit awkward.
There's a, by the way, it's just a very small style of play, but there's one-way smoke you can play on that small pit.
Okay.
That I'd love to see somebody bring back.
Fitch has won 6 of his 8 opening duels, and that's why we've seen it look so promising at the start of the game. You have to remember that was against probably in the pistol round and some of those anti-ecos. The rounds that really matter when he went down first, that's when it started to look a little bit odd. This is going to be the bomb. Sent towards Squeaky Door, 3 players in total. I assume it is Smoke Highway, and they go off this.
Do you want more to your point?
Go on.
About the fact that they've been peaking early on, especially in the first half with Fitch going out and no utility. You kept saying that. Avangar have 0 flash assists in this game. Tyloo have 7.
Well, there we go. That's quite a scary prospect. There's the Molotov towards middle, actually lands towards sandbags here, just to show a bit of presence. They're going for an A split. Like I said, there's no smoke on highway. I'm surprised at that. You can see how detrimental that is to them. They're pulling it back, but it looks like the round is done. They were going for the surprise attack there, not trying to telegraph their play at all, but it looks like this one is absolutely out of reach of Summer. And they taking out the 1 HP. So what's to plant it? That's even possible. And the flame.
Interestingly, I think he thought that was going to land on default, so he backed into the flames.
That's weird.
He might have gotten away with a plant. I don't think there was any. With 1 HP, if you hear flames, you're just going to panic. So there's no way he was going to do it, but it's finally Avangar responding. And again, it's the weapons that they pick up that start to matter that make the difference. Mind you, the AUG did most of the work, but they still have those in their hands. In fact, they picked up more AK-47s to be carried over this time.
One smoke towards highway there wouldn't have been a massively telegraphed approach. You could have got that down just before the door opens and then at least segregated some of the CTs and not had that easy access from Forklift. But still, Tyloo taking the timeout now. 11-9. Not that the game's big on the full distance, especially that Vitality on triple overtime in the first map, Inferno. Avangar with their first round after going down 4-0. Money actually pretty decent for them. Remember, they didn't win an eco, but they managed to come out of it with an AK and all. That saved a lot of cash, so they're looking relatively healthy. Chance them to get back into it now. Can they find double digits as Tyloo look to focus their efforts towards A once again? All 5 players heading that direction, at least for now. Are they boosting up? They are not. Focusing towards A main. You might want to double nade the entrance to stop the push. Double flash, and they're going in for a fast approach potentially. Taking a lot of damage there. My goodness. Attacker and somebody down to around 20 points of health. He'll be making his way towards highway. A very fast-paced attack.
James tried to turn it around. He wanted to speak highway, but he knew that A main was a bigger threat. It cost him out in the end, but not so much for Fuster. That's Fitch and Buster together. They look a little flustered now, though, because Bintet's got the kill back bomb to go down. And at 2-on-2, they've already got A main covered off, and it's the wide plant, meaning that that is an extremely potent position. Bintet, you're not sure which way to look. He's not wrong to suggest they might be pushing Forklift and trying to segregate the two of them, but it's all for naught, and it's immediate traded back toward Xgrid as well. I'm surprised he's peeking in that, really. Considering Krizen got the shot way over toward highway, and he had A main where the bomb is.
It's just feeling that wants the shots, wants the kills. Didn't land that time, and it comes down to the 1 versus 1. Bomb planted, and we'll see if that's enough to give the terrorists a chance of a buy here. They're averaging about 3k. Benta has 5, so they could buy this if they want to, knowing they got it down to 1v1, but I wouldn't recommend it at this point. You allow the Avantgarde to go 11-11. Just get the partial buy with the pistols, perhaps some armor. This was brilliant for Summer. He got 2 very quick kills there, but Fitch and Buster spraying them down from highway, and indeed the bomb set itself, and it all finishes off with that 1v1. Krizen, easy finish. He got 1 smoke. Surely goes towards highway. And they'll try and attack as that nade lands at the feet of Bentep. Takes a lot of damage for it. So 1 smoke, a flash. Try and get the plant down. Maybe a bit more if they get a couple of lucky deeks here. Smoke goes in towards highway. The Molotov quad as well. Here's the flash and the final play, but Kick looking very comfortable. Those flames not touching him, and he'll be absolutely fine here. Good shot. That's what we needed from Tyloo.
Absolutely is. James still trying to spot through the smoke, wait for it to clear and maybe get some vision. Perhaps Bintet as he rotates back, exactly that. James already had that position covered, no transition required. Somebody's going to stay in behind quad. Summer forced out by the Molotov, also met by Krizen. James once again on the up. James a star. We've already identified that, but this guy's really going to be making a mark over the next year, I have a feeling. Being quite vocal now as well. We know that he was doing some in-game leading for a while.
He was actually benched earlier in the year as well, in 2018, so it's marvelous to see him come back. And
and that's kind of why I led to that, because to see him vocal again now, when he came back from being benched, he was in-game leading beforehand.
Sure.
He wasn't when he came back, and that was what yesterday the manager, or maybe it was day one of the two, was saying that's what really allowed him to develop his game. So to see him talking so much during the timeouts, obviously he's rounding back into more of that role again.
Well, it seems like this CT half is more suited for his skill set, having a lot more impact with the AWP. We did mention a few times in the first half, didn't really seem to find much at all. But coming to their own, they've tied it all up, 11-11. Tyloo starting to drop off. They had the great start in the second half. And now Xgrid with the AWP. This is more of a default. They've tried a lot of fast approaches towards A. A lot of gaps in the strategy on both sides. Just 1 or 2 smokes or flashbangs in certain positions could have saved them. Somebody lining up the Molotov towards the vent here, just to flush anyone out there. I don't think there's any presence in the vents at all, but at least eradicates the risk. But that's a nice incendiary in response. Jame will hit the first shot. Attacker goes down. 5 versus 4. And at this stage, flashing towards middle. Boosted player there, presumably. Not quite, actually. So that flash won't do much for them if they do throw it over. Now, 5 on 4. They have 2 smokes remaining, a few flashbangs. And at this point, Avantgarde look very comfortable. 2 players on A, defensively. And they'll focus their efforts towards middle. Tyloo just going to see if the AWP can do any damage here. But once you have this advantage on the CT side, you don't necessarily need to challenge middle that much. As long as you got it covered, you've got 1 player watching the vents from connector in a very passive angle. You're watching towards highway. Everything is covered, essentially. Here comes the smoke, and Kirk can defend. Sense something is afoot here. Drops incendiary to focus towards A main.
Good find from Kiekert. 2 from quad already. Wants to go back down toward highway, and James gets that information sufficiently to take out Summer. Somebody just says, screw it, I'm out. Shut the door. Forget I ever knocked. Try and just stay alive with 5 seconds left. Into the corner. AK to hold. Avantgarde turn this around quite significantly. Once the guns came out on the CT side, we go back to them now in the lead by 1.
Yeah, that's actually a really nice CT play from them. like we said, giving up middle once you have the advantage is a very strong call. It's a difficult part of the map to hold, and it's not a bomb site, so you can allow them to have it as long as you have the information, more importantly, the AWP towards quad watching highway, exactly what they had. And Kicker, as soon as he detected it was an A attack, drops the incendiary towards Squeaky Door. That's 7 seconds now, he can focus. Look at those flames in front of him. He doesn't have to worry about that player swinging out. He'll have to watch his teammates get mowed down by the AUG. Like we know, 3 bullets to the body with the AUG will find the kill. So it's a very, very powerful weapon in that sort of position when you know they're coming, the time's running low, and you almost have the advantage with the incandescence of the flames there as well, just shrouding your vision. As we'll see a buy come through from Tyler, actually. I'm surprised at that. What's the overall look at it? An AK there for somebody. Did I spot a MAC-10 as well? Some Deagles, CZ, and Bente has got a MAC-10, so they've actually invested pretty much everything they've got into this round. A attack again. They really want to make this work. Kick up. Might be boosted up. Is he alone on A? He is. So, oh, makes noise. Not sure that was intentional to bait him, but right now looking uncomfortable. Needs to get the hell out of there.
He's going back around, Kicker. Finds one already, an extra bomb as well inside, but inside of the site where they're going to go either way, so that could be recovered. Not if Fitch getting in position. He certainly has. 2 kills on the way through, 13 to 11.
Looks a little bit touch and go there, the Kicker. Trying to get himself into not the boosted position, but on the barrels, and missed it, made a sound cue, had to run away, scramble towards the bomb site there as he retreated, but he managed to get a kill with the AUG, finish it off with the USP, and his teammates just in time to back him up, drop the flames around and guarantee a round victory, and more importantly, no plants, because that was essentially a force buy, and it has to be another eco for Tyloo here. Someone's gone for the tactical purchase of the AK-47, attacker with Deagle armor. They'll have buy next round. Objective here, get the bomb down if possible. They've got very little to no utility of the 2 smokes, and you can see Kicker really feeding it now. He's played a very defensive A site. Last round a very aggressive one, this time taking full control of A main.
James not peeking as of yet. Breaks the vents, perhaps trying to bait them out. Hasn't worked for him so far. There is one, obviously, as we can all see, on top of the boost. Clearing the close angles, they can now probably, presumably, focus on James. He's actually going to book it out of there already, play the high side. So once again, they'll give up mid, this time not with the advantage. Smoke off on Fitch. But this looks like B all day long. 3 in front of the vents. Take advantage of the fact that that smoke's down. Fitch won't be able to see above it. Outer vent blown, inner one not, is now. Crizzen, partly blinded, but Buster I don't think was, so they'll hear it either way. They're certainly ready for it. Molotov was in position as a result of that. Crizzen, he's still trying to catch the backside of the cross from B main as they slide one into headshot as well. 3 on the site, great rotation. Avangard was 1 step ahead the whole time, and really not much Tyloo could do. They don't even find a single kill on it.
Nothing really done there at all. A pretty lackluster approach towards B. Remember, they only had Deagles and that 1 AK. This does nothing for them, though. The AK is designed to crack open the site, maybe just get the plant out of it. Not necessarily to win the round, but to get you close to it. And Avangard looking very comfortable. Great utility usage there. Incendiaries towards checkers. That's such a powerful spot. You can just focus towards the B main. And now, is this the tactical timeout called? Not quite. Avangard, though, homing in on victory. They really have woken up since they've stabilized their economy. Look how much cash they have. Even after the reinvestments, they have, what, 3 players and 5 digits? It's not bad at all. Tyloo detecting that A pressure once again. This time, nades and smokes just to stop the CTs pushing in. And they might rotate back towards middle and focus on that area. Bentet's worried that a CT could go for that smoke. Avangard seem to be the sort of team that'd be happy to make that play, but no one there right now. It's actually James who's got the AWP. So they play towards the middle, which is fine. As soon as he feels uncomfortable, he will fall back. But now, smoke down towards the entrance. He can focus on the boosted spot. This is all about Crizzen now. Needs to be baited, and he's a little bit of backup from his teammates to make this position really work. He's got the AK. That's why he's feeling confident in those 1v1s.
Confident indeed. Some are still waiting as well out toward Toxic, see if anyone pushes around. Hasn't been a lot of aggression from the CTs on B, but with 3 players there again this time. 1 already on box from Crizzen. He could push through. Excurit's got James. That's the first time they've got the mid pick against him. Crazy how this game's changed. Looked like Tyloo had everything going for them once they pulled back from 8-2. Got it all the way up to 8-11. 9 rounds in a row, and then now it's just fallen shy yet again.
They have the advantage here. Bentap, check room, and what to do about that CT? Oh, Krisen almost gave that kill away, but it's all a ruse. You can see the bombs going down towards A. Look how many CTs there are towards that B bomb site. He actually gets no kills. He takes everyone with him as Summer just locks them in that side. He might get the third as well. He didn't, but he has won the round. That was a really, really nice play from Bentap. The fact he kept everyone there, they were convinced there was a B attack there.
Solidly done. That's going to give Tyloo a bit of a lifeline. They're still not playing for overtime. The win is still possible. Dual AK saved over. I assume you're noticing it. I'm sure other people are too. That's not a server issue. The animation was being queued, and I'm sure someone was tapping it over and over again, waiting for it to get the call.
I liked it either way.
I liked it too. A little remix.
Yeah, exactly.
DJ.
14-12. Tyloo, is that their first round after losing 6? They obviously won the pistol and got that 4-0 start in the second half. It looked like they were in cruise control. But Avangard have woken up, but that's the first time the streak has been broken.
Yeah, I mean, in fairness, if this game didn't have that massive start for Avangard, if it wasn't for the fact that Tyloo was slow to get going, it might be a very different picture right now. But that still may not guarantee the win, considering now how Avangard is adjusting and playing on this CT side.
All to play for here. As we noted before the previous round, Avangard have got absolutely tons of cash here. And they managed to save an AK as well, a couple of them actually. So it was Summer that shut them down towards a connector, but they felt like it's not worth trying to challenge him. Let him have the round. We've got the lead. Keep our money strong. Keep those AKs up as they buy up into this one. And we'll see what they land with. The double AWP set up for the first time on the CT side for Avangard. It will be James going towards middle once again. Throws a smoke, and it's a solo procedure to get the Molotov down as well. Excurrent spots a CT. He's got this kill. If Buster wants to check any further, he's ready for him. The timing, though, on that. The moment he takes his scope out of position, that's when Buster peaks. You've got to be gutted with that one, but luckily they pull a kill back.
AWP available. Summer's going to grab it, so they'll recover it at the very least. Yeah, you're absolutely right. The timing, that almost sucks. You almost feel bad. Molotov through the open door. That'll push somebody back slightly. What it does do, it's not so much to take position away from him because he'll easily walk back up afterwards. It pushes him back far enough that James can do this with the AWP. He starts to peek in toward A main. They should be aware of the fact that it's possible, but still they've got to hit the shot. He does that against Attacker instead. Somebody could catch them in transition back toward the site. That's the goal, but that's why Kickard also sat at forklift the whole time. Very smart design.
Jump across. Somebody sees it, but it's not going to help him in terms of getting tons of information. He just knows there's a couple of players towards A. That's about it. 4 versus 3. They still have utility here. That's for CT Spawn. Molotov for the bomb site. You can see those markers there. Very easy to remember. Oh, well, I say that. The Molotov doesn't even land.
Yeah, those markers, those rusted rivets in the wall, they're almost too easy.
By design to like kind of give you some
very
some
much
cues.
a Valve decision, and FMPONE putting that on this version of the map. James peeks again. Summer standing in the open. 20 seconds left. He was just checking to see if they were there. Certainly they were, and they still are. They'll take him down. Bintet's swung out on James. 9 seconds left. Krisen's got an incendiary. But he's not in position to use it. He is on the flank. Buster's got one on Bintet already. Somebody's got to play tight at quad, and Krisen's got the nade on top of him.
It's all about James that round for me. Great stuff with the AWP. Managed to get the opening pick, moved over to that MBK position, hits the all-important shot, and that's when absolute chaos ensues. 10 seconds remaining at that point. They have to make their way towards the side. They took James down, but there's enough time for his teammates to rotate in, get the flanks going as well. Grenades landing left, right, and center, and somebody did some great work towards Highway to actually give them a fighting chance there. With the flank too much, Buster recovering the AWP. He got 2 frags himself, and Krisen finishing things off with the HE. And it's going to be 15-12 to Avangard. Bomb planted means they get a pretty decent buy here on the Tyloo side. They're lucky they got that bomb down because they would have been broken without it. And it's map point here in the best of 3. This is our 2-1 game. Whoever comes out on top in this series goes forward into the next stage of the tournament. That's Molotov off for now. Doesn't want to use the smoke to get that one way. He's happy to wait, re-peek it, potentially with a flash. Takes a bit of damage, but he's still in position.
Buster still holding as well. Tighter angle. We saw Excurate use this in his own last time by, but he still is to the right side of the doorway, which means he can fall back. They're going to know he's there. Falling back, smoke already in place. He'll safely get to the corner. Interesting decision for the AWP. And he will safely rotate back in. He wanted to just stay tight to the wall so they couldn't wrap behind him. Missed Molotov again. That's twice. They're not even aware that that missed. So be cognizant of that when they walk in. As soon as they identify that that's a problem within their strategy, which they still may not, given that there's a smoke down on top of the site, they're going to realize what that leads to, and it leads to Avangard picking up the round because they couldn't distill the players on top of the site. They are now one map away from qualifying into the Legends stage.
What a roller coaster of a game that was. It was so back and forth. The loose gameplay of Avangard got on that fantastic start. It looked like they were unstoppable. Tyloo woke up and brought it back to 8-7 and looked